Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod Science classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 26th April 2022. So let's get started with our discussion and let us try to see today's quote. So today's quote is given by Gandhi. So according to Gandhi, if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have that at beginning. So if you have a will, if you have a belief that I can do it, then automatically you will acquire the capacity to do it. So even though if you do not have much capacity at the beginning, but in the course of time you can acquire the capacity to do that task. So this is absolutely useful for UPSC aspirants. So first of all, try to believe yourself. So belief, it is a first step of success. So now let us try to see first topic. It is regarding energy security. Energy security of South Asia. So if you're talking about Asia map, so you have to remember the countries of Asia. So that I detailedly discussed in our geography module in our Rathod Science. So if you're weak in geography, you can take that geography course. So in that geography, we dealt with Indian geography, world geography, and separately maps as well. So that will be absolutely beneficial. So here, first we need to know about the countries which are part of South Asia, and we need to know about what are the steps taken by these countries of South Asia to become energy secure. So this article is important from our GS paper to under international relations, and this topic is important from our mains point of view. So now let us try to see first map of South Asia. So I hope you can see map on the screen. So on the screen you can see this part. It is our South Asia. This is the North Asia part. This is the West Asia part. And it is the Southeast Asia part. It is this East Asia part. So this part is South Asia. So South Asia mainly contains countries like Afghanistan is there, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh. So these are the countries, and even Sri Lanka and Maldives, they comes under this South Asia part. So now let us try to talk about how these countries they become energy secure. So if you see here, South Asia has almost fourth of the global population. So it is almost having a fourth of global population, and is having about 5% of world's landmass. So the South Asia, which mainly contains huge global population, that is, it mainly ranks fourth in the global population, and it is mainly having about 5% of world's landmass. And if you're focusing on electricity generation of the South Asia, so it had dramatically increased its production of electricity. For example, in 1990s, so there was about 340 terawatt hours of electricity production in this entire South Asia region. And if you compare in 2015, it mainly increased to 1500 terawatt hours. So there is a dramatical increase in the production of electricity in this region. And if you're talking about Bangladesh especially, so Bangladesh achieved 100% of electrification, and recently Bhutan, Maldives, Sri Lanka, they also accomplished this in 2019. And if you're talking about India and Afghanistan, so there is electrification of 94.4% in India, and Afghanistan has 97.7% of electrification. And if you're talking about Pakistan, it is 73.91%. So this is the data regarding electrification in the South Asian countries. So as you all know, South Asian countries includes Bhutan, Nepal, Maldives, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. So out of this, Bangladesh achieved 100%, and Bhutan, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, they also accomplished this target in 2019. India, which mainly having about 94.4%, and Afghanistan 97.7%, and Pakistan it is just 73.91%. And if you're focusing on India especially, so India, it is mainly trying to make a transition, that is, we are moving towards non-renewable energy towards this renewable energy. And we are mainly trying to provide the electricity that should be produced from this renewable energy, that is a target of 40%. So 40% of total consumed electricity that should be provided from this renewable energy. So because of this, we are mainly having some transition between this non-renewable energy towards this renewable energy sources. And if you're talking about Pakistan, so Pakistan, it is still struggling regarding a problem, that is reducing of power shortage. So here Pakistan, which is mainly having power shortage problem. So because of this power shortage, that had some negative impact on the economy of Pakistan as well. So in this way here, electricity, which mainly it is very important for the development of that so and so country, electricity which mainly contributes for the GDP of that country as well. So this thing, it is very clear now. So here the electricity policies of South Asian countries, they are mainly aiming to provide electricity to every household. And the important objective of this electricity here is to supply reliable and quality electricity in an efficient manner. And we need to provide electricity at a reasonable rates, and even we need to protect consumer interest. So this is about policies of South Asian countries regarding electricity, and even the aims of those so and so policies. So even though number of policies that have come up by the government, but there are some challenges they are mainly facing regarding generation of electricity. And after generating, so this electricity need to be transmitted from one area to another area. So during this transmission, so there will be the transmission loss which is mainly happening, and even electricity theft which mainly happens. So even I had a real life example. So whenever I used to visit my grandmother's home, in my early childhood days, so at that time there was no proper power supply. Okay, even there are many people, they used to make some wires, they will be attached to the lines here. So in this way, so the electricity theft which mainly happens in the rural areas at that time, so I was very much evident. Okay, I also saw that thing which is mainly happening in the rural areas. So whenever electricity which is mainly generated in one area, so whenever we are going for transmission of this electricity, so there will be the transmission loss, the transmission theft that mainly happens. So that will cause us some great losses. And even distribution is also very much important problem. And even rural electrification, it will be a great challenge. And even there is no proper research and development regarding this electricity generation, storage, and transmission purpose. And next one is there are even environment issues that is mainly seen. So because of this electrical lines, okay, electricity lines, so there is number of great impact that is mainly seen on the birds as well. So even if you are talking about one current affairs in news, that is Great Indian Bustard. So Great Indian Bustard, which is a large flying bird, and it is a state bird of Rajasthan. The number of this Great Indian Bustard is very much decreasing rapidly, and we are mainly taking some conservation efforts. And even Supreme Court, which is hearing case regarding this electrical lines that will leads to the death of this Great Indian Bustards as well. So this electricity, it is also transmission, also one of the great impact that is having on environment and the ecology. And even the issues which are mainly regarding this energy conservation as well, and human resource training. So these are some important challenges that need to be addressed. And if you're focusing on India's electricity, we are heavily dependent on this coal, that is thermal energy. So this thermal energy, which mainly accounts for 55% of its electricity production, and 99.9% of Nepal's energy, which is mainly coming from hydropower. So India's electricity, that is 55% that we are getting from coal, that is fossil fuel. But here Nepal, on other side, it is getting 99.9% of its electricity from this hydropower, that is from this there are number of rivers which mainly originated in these Himalayas, and they are very high speed flowing rivers, so that it is very much helpful for this Nepal to build dams across those rivers and to produce this hydroelectricity power. And if you are talking about Bangladesh power, which 75% relies on natural gas, and Sri Lanka, which is mainly focusing on oil here. Okay, so this is about different countries production of electricity data. So if you're talking about what is the role of electricity in achieving sustainable development goals, so this is also one important idea, right? So about 0.46 percentage of increase in energy consumption, that will leads to, or that will contributes to increasing of 1% of GDP, okay, of that country. So whenever there is increasing of 0.46 percentage of energy consumption, that will leads to 1% of increasing of GDP per capita. So by this electricity, which not only important for improving of lifestyle of people, but even it will also contribute for our development of the economy as well. So if you're seeing in middle income countries, generation of this power which plays an important role, and it is having significant impact on the economic growth of that so and so country. So whenever there is good electricity supply, means we can see there will be increased investments. So the companies, they will be coming and they will be setting up. So if any company want to establish, or any industry that have to run, means it will require some machinery. So this machinery will be worked with only the help of this electricity. So if there is no if there is no proper electricity supply, means so industries will be not coming up and they will be not setting up, right? So here, if there is a proper supply of electricity, means so we can expect there will be the good investment, and even there will be the economic activities that will be going on, right? So it will be helpful for generation of employment as well. So finally it will lead to the growth of that economy. So in this way, electricity which plays an important role in the growth of that country. So if you see some data which is given in this article, which mainly says that the South Asian nations, they have greatly benefited from widening of electricity coverage across the industries and households. So across the industries and households, we are having mainly South Asian countries, they are greatly benefited from the widening of this electricity coverage. Okay, so whenever there is a good electricity coverage, mean we can see there will be the investments that will be coming up. So factories will be set up, industries will be setting up, and economic activities will be going on, and even that will lead to increasing the standard of living of the people as well. So if you're talking about Bangladesh GDP, so 50.3% of Bangladesh GDP, which mainly comes from industrial and as well as agriculture sector, which cannot function efficiently without electricity. So without electricity in industries, the machinery will not work, and without electricity, tube wells, they will be not working. So that such that what happened, the productivity. So if there is no proper electricity, means the productivity from these industries and as well as agriculture will be decreased. But as you all know, so Bangladesh, which mainly achieved 100% of electrification. So because of this good electrical power supply, so that led to increasing of our GDP contribution from this industrial sector and as well as agriculture sector to this Bangladesh economy. And if you are focusing on this Nepal GDP growth, on average 7.3%, on average 7.3% since earthquake in 2015 is due to rapid urbanization. So here about 7.3% of GDP of Nepal's growth, which is mainly because of rapid urbanization. So why there is rapid urbanization? Because of good electricity supply. And if you're talking about Pakistan, so Pakistan, which is mainly facing power shortage. So because of this power shortage, the contribution from these textiles, that is about 9.22%, and it is mainly contributing to about $12.4 billion from industry, which has been decreased due to power shortage. So now you can understand importance of electricity. And if you're talking about India, India leads South Asia in adapting renewable energy, with an annual demand of power increasing by 6%. So annually, for every year, we are seeing there is increasing of power demand by 6%, and we are also moving towards this renewable energy sources. So now this article says what is the need or what is the way forward. So here, whenever we are talking about electricity and sustainable development goals, so there is a relationship between proper electricity supply and as well as achieving of sustainable development goals. So now let us try to understand that dimension as well. So here, solar power driven electrification rural Bangladesh, which has a huge step toward achievement of sustainable development goal 7. So it mainly talks about affordable, reliable, sustainable, modern energy for all. Okay, Sustainable Development 7. Okay, it mainly talks about access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all by 2030. So because of proper electrification in rural areas in Bangladesh, which mainly helpful for engaging of 1 lakh female solar entrepreneurs in Sustainable Development Goal 5. So here, whenever women are becoming entrepreneurs, means that will be helpful to achieve gender equality in the society, and will be also helpful for empowerment of women and as well as girls. So whenever there is a proper electricity supply, so we can achieve Sustainable Development Goal 7, that is regarding access to energy, and that will be also helpful for achieving a Sustainable Development Goal 5, which mainly talks about gender equality and empowerment of women and girls. And apart from that, whenever there is a proper access to electricity, then we can also achieve this Sustainable Development Goal 9. So it mainly talks about resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization. So we can also promote industrialization and as well as some innovations in this sector. And next one is, so whenever there is a proper supply of electricity, we can also continue with this online education as well. So whenever there is affordable internet is there, we can also, that can also contribute for this online education. So in this way, we can achieve our Sustainable Development Goal 4, that is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education. We are also promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. And even whenever there is a proper education, means we can also eradicate poverty, that is Sustainable Development Goal 1. And whenever there is no poverty, means we can achieve our Sustainable Development Goal 3, that is ensuring of healthy life and promote well-being for all at all ages. So these are some Sustainable Development Goals. So we talked about Goal 7, Goal 5, Goal 9, Goal 4, 1 and as well as 3. So these Sustainable Developmental Goals, they are connected with electricity. I hope you got some idea. So if you see what is this green energy and as well as green growth. So South Asian leaders, they are inclusively which mainly focused on efficient, innovative and advanced methods of energy production. So now here many countries are mainly focusing on moving towards this renewable energy because to combat climate change. And even we are mainly focusing on 100% electrification. So in this context, our Prime Minister, he mainly focused on net zero or carbon neutrality. So carbon neutrality will be achieved by the target year 2070. Okay, so this is a thing which mainly announced by our Prime Minister in this Conference of Parties 26 that mainly recently held in Glasgow. And we're also having a target to increase the capacity of renewable energy from 450 gigawatts to 500 gigawatts, and the target year is 2030. So in this context, South Asia has vast renewable energy sources. For example, we have hydropower, we have solar power, wind, and as well as geothermal energy, biomass, etc. So these can be used for harnessing of electricity from these renewable sources. And we also came up with this clean development mechanism. So it is having some benefits like reduction of poverty, energy efficiency, improved quality of life as well. Okay, so in this way, this South Asian region which is mainly moving towards green growth and as well as green energy. So India also came up with this International Solar Alliance, that is ISA as well. So what is the way forward? So author mainly says that when we want to move forward towards this resilient energy framework, so we need to have better design practices, we need to focus on climate change, and we need to focus on climate proof infrastructure. We need to have a flexible monetary framework and as well as integrated resource plan so that supports renewable energy innovation. So in this way, we need to focus on all these things. So apart from that, if government alone can do it or not? No. So government cannot do it alone. So there is a need of help from this private as well. Okay, so here private investment is very crucial, and we can go for public private partnership models as well. So this is about this topic in detail. I hope you understand this topic. Now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding Kuril Islands. So the quarrel over Kuril Islands. So before seeing this Kuril Islands, if you see this infographic in the newspaper, then you can get some important treaties. For example, there are number of treaties that mainly present between Russia and as well as Japan. Okay, so now let us try to understand this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context why this Kuril Islands is in news. So you all know that Russia-Ukraine crisis is going on. So because of this Russia's invasion on Ukraine, which mainly brought up other disputes that Russia which mainly involved are coming outside. So here if you see on recently on April 2022 on April 22, so Japan's diplomatic blue book for 2022 which mainly describe about this Kuril Islands. So Kuril Islands which is a northern territories, territory here. So here this Kuril Island which is having some dispute between Japan and as well as Russia, and in this Japan's diplomatic blue book for 2022 which mainly describes this Kuril Islands which is mainly illegally occupied by Russia. So this is the first time in about 2 decades that Japan was used this phrase to describe the dispute over this Kuril Islands. So now let us try to understand some important details regarding this dispute. So actually this Kuril Islands are set of 4 islands which is mainly situated between the Sea of Okhotsk and as well as Pacific Ocean. It is present here somewhere. So I will be showing map, don't worry about that. Okay, so here it is a north of Japan's northernmost prefecture, that is Hokkaido. So it is a north towards this Hokkaido. So actually what happened, so this is a dispute between Russia and as well as Japan. Japan and Russia, they both claim the sovereignty over this Kuril Islands. So but they were under control of Russia since this World War II. So since World War II onwards, this Kuril Islands, they were under control of Russia. So in 1956, 2 of these 4 islands of this Kurils, they are returned to Japan. Okay, they signed some peace treaty. So after this signing of this peace treaty, so 2 of these 4 islands, they were control of Japan here. But later on Japan-Soviet joint declaration, okay, which mainly came into picture, and 2 countries they signed this Japan-Soviet joint which mainly restored this diplomatic relations between this Japan and as well as Russia. So after that Russia which mainly invaded, okay, Russia's invasion on Ukraine. In this context here, Japan's foreign minister, he mainly stated that so this is mainly occupied territory of, so this Kuril Islands are mainly occupied by Russia. So it is mainly violating international law as well. So if you're talking about where is this Kuril Islands are located, so this is the Japan. So this is Hokkaido, it is the northernmost part of Japan. And here there is one more island, that is Sakhalin Island. So here these are this Kuril Islands. So these Kuril Islands are 4 islands. Okay, so this is Sea of Okhotsk and here we have this Pacific Ocean. So between these 2 here we have this Kuril Islands. So here you can see, okay, so this is our Kuril Islands. So this is the Japan. So now let us try to talk about next topic. It is regarding constitutional cases. So a docket full of unresolved constitutional cases. So this article talking about unresolved constitutional cases. So here we are going to talk about one concept called as judicial evasion. So judicial evasion, judicial activism, that is mainly seen in news. So here you need to know what is this judicial evasion, which is mainly related to this topic. So this article is important from your polity point of view, which mainly comes in a GS paper too. And this topic is important from your mains. So if you see context, it mainly says that who is a CJI, present CJI, that is N.V. Ramana sir. So N.V. Ramana, the CJI, Chief Justice of India, he mainly stated that he would discuss other judges and consider listing after summer vacations the petitions which are challenging the abrogation of Article 370, which stripped this Jammu and Kashmir of its special status. So on August 5th and 6th, 2019, so central government came up with abrogation of Article 370, that is dilution of this Article 370. So this Article 370, which is mainly talking about special category status of Jammu and Kashmir. Right, so till now this case which is not dealt. So here our CJI, he mainly said that after summer vacation he is going to discuss with the other judges and they will be considered the listing of this case. During the framing of Indian Constitution, it was proposed that any petition alleging a breach of fundamental rights they by the state ought to be judicially decided within 1 month. So here what it says means, so whenever our constitution was framed, so if there is any petition which is alleging that whenever the fundamental rights are mainly violated means, so that case should be decided within 1 month. But here the date is August 5th 6 2019. So it has been more than 2 years, it is almost 2 years, but there is no deciding of this case. So here it is mainly violating the whatever the thing which is present in our Indian constitution, right? So here a constitution which is becoming entirely ineffective. So if a right which violating the status quo is allowed to exist and to perpetuate for months or even years before it finally resolved. So here what happened, what is written in the constitution, that is, so within 1 month of time we need to go for deciding of that case, but it has been some years, and as well as it has been in fact 2 years. Okay, so here this article says that if it is happening means the entire constitution will be ineffective. So here now let us have a discussion regarding, so what is the impact on accountability. So at this point of course, it is not limited to the violation of rights, but it also even extends to all significant constitutional questions that arises here regarding issues regarding federal structure, elections, and many others. They all involved in the questions of power and as well as accountability. So there are many questions which are mainly involved here, that is regarding power and as well as accountability. So if you're talking about whenever what actual time that should be taken by the courts to resolve the issue, but if the time it is extending means what happened, that will be having some negative impact on our accountability. So if we're talking about some examples of the cases, that is the first one is Presidential Order of August 5th and 6th 2019 regarding dilution of Article 370 of Indian Constitution, and later on we came up with the State of Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act, and it bifurcated erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir state into two union territories, that is Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and next one is Union Territory of Ladakh. And next one it is regarding CBI. Okay, CBI verdict, that is regarding function of CBI, and next one is regarding Citizenship Amendment Act, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, and as well as Bhima Koregaon case. So in this article which mainly says that it is a one sign of judicial evasion. So because of this judicial evasion, it is also leading to damaging of accountability of judiciary itself. So what is this judicial evasion? So judicial evasion is nothing but it is the occurrence of delay in adjudication of sensitive cases. Okay, it is like adjudication of sensitive cases by the courts that will leads to undermining of justice delivery system. Okay, so what happened whenever some critical and sensitive cases are there, so they are not taking by this court. So because if you're talking about CJI is having an important role, that is he is responsible for constituting of benches and as well as scheduling of cases. He is called as master of the roster. Right, so this is about this topic, and now let's try to see next topic. It is regarding hydel project, that is especially Ratle and Quar hydel power project. Okay, Ratle and Quar hydroelectricity power project on river Chenab. So this article is important from your GS paper one, that is geography point of view. So now let us try to discuss this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that Pakistan has objected to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit. So Narendra Modi visited Kashmir, right? So and he mainly came up with a number of projects, developmental projects, connectivity projects, and even he also laid a foundation stone for construction of this Ratle Quar hydroelectricity power project on river Chenab. Okay, and here Pakistan objected our Prime Minister visit to Kashmir. So now let us try to understand what is this Ratle power project. So here it is mainly a run on river hydroelectric power project. So if you are talking about hydroelectricity, so if there is any river which is flowing in this direction means first we will be going for construction of a dam. So whenever the dam is constructed, so we will be storing amount of water. So once this water which is stored here, the water will be released and there will be the turbine. So whenever due to the fall of this water, this turbines will be rotated and it will be generating electricity. So this is a normal hydroelectricity power project. But what happens, so we will be having another type of project, that is run of river project. So in this run of river project, whenever the river which is mainly flowing, so we are not going to build a big dam to store the water, but what happens, we will be constructing a very small dam. So whenever the river it is flowing, it will be running the turbines and it will be generating electricity. So we are not storing water in this run on the river project. Actually, this Ratley hydropower project is run of the river power project on river Chenab, and it is mainly located in this Kishtwar district of in Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir at present now. So if you're talking about this project, it mainly includes 133 meters tall gravity dam and 2 power stations are present here, and the installed capacity of this power station, that is both power station, will be like 850 megawatts. And if you see the background, in 2013 itself, our Indian Prime Minister, he laid the foundation stone of this dam here, and Pakistan will be like alleging that it mainly violates this Indus Water Treaty that's signed between India and Pakistan. Okay, so if you're talking about some facts regarding this Chenab river, so here it mainly arises in the upper Himalayas. So it is mainly formed by the confluence of 2 rivers. The first one is Chandra and second one is Bhadra. Okay, and Chandra and Bhaga. So this Bhaga which mainly originated from this Suryatal, and Chandra which mainly originated from this Chandratal. It mainly flows to the regions of Jammu and Kashmir and into the plains of Punjab, Pakistan, before flowing into the Indus River. So if you see the location of this Chenab, so this is our Chenab. This is Bhaga and Chandra. They are confluencing and they will be flowing in this direction and enters into the Pakistan. Okay, so in this way, it is mainly joined in this Indus River. So here we have Jhelum River, here we have Ravi, here we have Satluj, and this is our Indus River. Okay, so this is our Indus. So these are some important tributaries here. Okay, so this is our Indus River system. So if you're talking about next topic, which mainly talks about one important report that mainly says that India, which is mainly designated as country of particular concern. So title says India represents critical voices according to report. So this is USCIRF report. Okay, so now let us try to talk about this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that, so especially regarding religious freedom. So regarding religious freedom conditions in India, the religious freedom conditions are very much worsened according to this USCIRF report, that is United States Commission on International Religious Freedom. Actually, it is an independent body which has recommended for the 3rd year in the line that India designated as a country of a particular concern. That means in India, so there is a very poor religious freedom is seen. So if you see some details, why, what are the reasons? So during this year, Indian government which mainly escalated its promotion and enforcement of policies, and these policies are regarding Hindu nationalist agenda, and that have some negative impact on other religions like Muslim, Christian, Sikhs, Dalits, and as well as other religious minorities. So this is the thing which mainly said by the report. And government which mainly continued to systemize its ideological vision of Hindu state at both national and as well as at the state levels. Okay, and next one is even the rights activist people, they were arrested, and there are some cases which mainly recorded under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act in India. And even there are a number of challenges which are mainly faced by these NGOs and regarding foreign funding, and mainly highlighting some anti-conversion laws in India as well. Okay, so these are some important highlights of the report. So if we're talking about some facts regarding this US Commission on International Religious Freedom, so actually it is an independent bipartisan US federal government commission, okay, which is mainly focusing on freedom of religion. Okay, freedom of religion. So actually it is also an advisory to this US Congress as well. So it also reviews facts and circumstances of religious freedom violations, and also come up with some policy recommendations to president as well. And headquarters located at Washington DC. And next topic, it is regarding CIPRI report. So India is 3rd largest or highest military spender. So this article is important from your defense, which mainly comes under GS paper 3. So now let us try to see some details highlighted by this CIPRI report. So world's military spending had been continued to grow. So there is increasing of military spending across the world, that is mainly reaching $2.1 trillion. Okay, so even though because of this global pandemic economic fall that is mainly seen in almost all the countries, so despite of that, there is also increasing of military spending that is mainly seen. So this is the thing which mainly is published by this separate report. So if you see details, it mainly says that the first largest expenditure country is US, and second one is China, and third one is India, fourth one is UK, and fifth one is Russia. So these 5 countries, they contribute for 62% of expenditure, right? And especially US and China, they contribute for 52% of expenditure in the world. And India's military expenditure is about $76.6 billion, and India ranked third highest spender in the world. And actually here there is a spending of India which mainly increased from 2012. So if you are comparing with 2012, in 2022 it mainly increased about 33% of its spending. So why? Because of ongoing tensions with Russia, with China, and as well as with Pakistan. And we are mainly prioritizing modernization of our equipment, and even we are focusing on domestic production, okay, or self-reliance in this arms production. So these are the things which are mainly said by this report. And if you're talking about military expenditure in Asia and as well as Oceania, so it is about $586 billion in 2021, and it is like 3.5% higher when we are comparing with this 2020. And whenever there is increase in 2021, it was mainly primarily due to the growth in Chinese and as well as Indian military spending. Okay, so here if you're talking about Russia also increased its military expenditure by 2.9% in 2021. And if you're talking about Ukraine, the report which mainly remarked that strengthening its defenses against Russia. So the military expenditure of this Ukraine is also had been increased since 2014 after annexation of Crimea by Russia. So these are some important articles. And now let us try to see yesterday's questions. So first one is regarding weathering. Weathering is a basic and first step of soil formation. Consider the following statements. So first one is rate of weathering increases with increasing the steepness. Yes. And next one is mechanical weathering, which is mainly seen higher in the drier areas but not in the humid areas. And chemical weathering, which is mainly seen high in humid areas. So these two statements are interchanged. So these two are incorrect. So the correct statements are one only. And next question is regarding mass wasting or mass movements. So mass wasting or mass movement is a common phenomena at the hills of big steep mountains like Himalayas, Atlas, etc. Consider the following statements regarding the mass wasting. So rock debris that moves down the hill is mainly derived from weathering. So the rock debris moves down mainly because of earthquake, volcano, moving water, etc. Okay, so rock debris which is mainly happens because of influence of gravity but not earthquake, volcano. So you can eliminate the second statement. So correct option is one only. And these are today's practice questions. The first one is regarding natural levees and next one is regarding deltas. Okay, so try to read the statements and give me the correct option for these questions in our comment box. So now let me make a small announcement. We came up with number of courses in our Rathod's IAS. So if you want to take entire foundation course for 2023, you can take entire course. And if you want to take either single module like geography, history, economy, and international relations, disaster management, ethics, you can take the separate modules. So if you want to take my courses, I am dealing with the geography and as well as ethics here. So you can take those courses. If you want to see the demo videos, so please visit our website Rathod's IAS Academy. There you can register with your email ID and you can watch 3 demo videos which are free of cost in each and every module. So after watching that videos only, you can go for purchasing of these courses. Okay, and if you have any queries, you can call me on this number 8074765513. Okay, so now let us try to see today's Hindu newspaper PDF. So this is our today's Hindu. Date is April 26th and this is Delhi edition. So first article, it is no limits to Russia-China ties, which mainly says by European Union chief amid Ukrainian war. So here European Union chief, she mainly says that the friendship between Russia and as well as China has low limits. Okay, so here you need to focus on what is this Raisina dialogue as well. And the next article, it is regarding CJI Mul's listing of pleas on removal of Jammu and Kashmir special status. So this article I already discussed, and here you need to know about judicial evasion topic as well. And next article, it is 250 kg heroin seized and 9 Pakistani nationals held. Okay, so here actually this Gujarat became one of the hotspot for the smuggling of this heroin. Already we discussed about one article regarding this drug trafficking, so you have to refer that once again and leave this city page. There is nothing much important. And here you can see dengue cases climbed to 76 in 4 months and 50 remain untraced. So you have to know some facts regarding this dengue cases that will be important from your science and technology. And if you move still forward, you can see this editorial page now. In this editorial page, there is one article regarding this household spending survey. So once the survey is done and once the result will be given, means we are going to have a discussion on that. And this article I discussed regarding the South Asia electricity. And you can also know about this article, it is regarding inflation. And if you move forward in this text and context, I discussed about this Kuril Islands. And I also discussed regarding this unresolved constitutional cases. And if you move forward, there is one article regarding Supreme Court seeks steps for children on streets. So here we need to know about what is the role of this National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. And regarding this Hydel project, I discussed this topic. And if you move forward, India represents critical voices report, I discussed this topic. And if you move forward, there is one article regarding FCRA not for human rights NGO declined. So here you need to know about what is FCRA. Actually, this FCRA is seen in news from September 2021 onwards. So we had enough discussions regarding this FCRA. So please try to revise those topics. And regarding the CPRI report, I discussed. And here 86.45% of fall in malaria cases. This is the thing which mainly said by our minister, that is Union Health Minister. You have to know about some facts regarding this malaria, and you have to know about what are the steps taken by the government for malaria elimination. And next topic is regarding US wants to see weaken Russia to avoid Ukraine repeat. Okay, so you can refer that article once because already this video is very lengthy. And next topic is regarding labor participation dips to 40% from 46% in 6 years. So in 6 years, there is 6% of decreasing of labor participation, and this is according to CMIE data. The CMIE data says that only 40% of Indians of a legal working age, they are employed. Okay, they are employed. But earlier in 2016 to 17, it was like 46%. So there is decreasing of labor participation, and you have to see what might be the reasons for this. And next one is Russian oil imports in 2 months exceed twice 2021 total. Okay, so this is regarding we are importing this Russian oil because it is mainly providing oil at a discounted price, right? So this is about this topic, and you can refer these topics in today's newspaper, and these are some important articles that appear in this today's newspaper. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to Rathod Science Academy and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. Thank you so much.